I'm Tricia McCannon, and thanks for joining us for another installment of Galactic Awakening. Today we're going to be talking really about the scientific cycles behind this great galactic awakening and how it's affecting not only our planet but all of the planets in our entire solar system. First, we should know that what the ancients talked about was something called a great year. It's a 25,920 year cycle, roughly 26,000 years, that it takes for our solar system to actually move through all 12 signs of the zodiac. And this is something known to the ancients as the precession of the equinox. It's a precession, not a procession, because from our point of view, when the sun rises in the sky every single spring on the vernal equinox, and we look at the celestial tapestry or background behind the sun, it's one of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And over the course of 2160 years, the sun appears to move backward, precessing backward against the background of the celestial zodiac. So we slowly move 1 degree every 72 years through the 360 degrees of the circle of the zodiac or circle of animals. So in order to move through one of the 12 signs of the zodiac, which is 30 degrees fat, basically, we have to, it takes us 72 years times 30 degrees, which equals 2160 years. So each zodiacal age is roughly 2100 years. So the age of Aries, for example, which was the age before the one we're in now, came in around 2150 BC. And of course, Aries was ruled by the god of war. So what did we have for 2,000 years between 2000 and 0 BC? We basically had war, and more war. We had the Babylonians killing the Hittites, killing the Assyrians, fighting the Jews, fighting the Egyptians, fighting the Assyrians, fighting the Chaldeans. It was just one war after another. We also had the rise of Alexander the Great, who of course was trying to unify everyone, and he had to beat Persia to do that, which was a mighty empire. We also had the rise of the Roman Empire that lasted for some 1,000 years and eventually gave us the Roman Catholic Church. But during the age of Aries, we saw it was very much a militaristic establishment. They were laying down roads and order and civilization, but they had very strong armies to be able to enforce their will. So these are some of the things that happened in the age of Aries, and it was a very patriarchal age. About the time Jesus came in, we were going from the shift from the age of Aries to the age of Pisces. And Pisces actually was intended to be far more of a feminine age than we actually got. The ages tend to be more masculine dominant and feminine subdominant, or feminine dominant and masculine subdominant. And they're intended to switch because it gives souls that are incarnated down here an opportunity to learn to develop their strengths in both sides. And it gives us an opportunity for our cultures to transform and to begin to change. So one of the things Jesus came to do was to usher in this more intuitive feminine age. And if you actually look at his teachings, they were essentially very Piscean. The kingdom of heaven is within us. Love your neighbor as yourself. Forgiveness is the key. This was certainly not the philosophy of the Roman Empire. It was a much higher philosophy, and it was a feminine-based philosophy that ultimately could have brought us to a place of compassion, love, and spiritual attunement. But as we can sort of see, it didn't really happen. We had the dominant patriarchal wave coming off the age of Aries that we see in some of the cultures, like the Hebrew culture was very patriarchal, and you also see it with the Roman culture. Although women had a lot of rights, still it was militaristic. So in the end, the Roman Catholic Church, wound up, changing the message of Jesus in large part, and we wound up with a male-dominated age that was male dominant and male subdominant, which is why women lost all the rights to be citizens or to vote or to be able to stand up for themselves or own property or inherit or even take care of themselves for the better part of about 1,700 years. So it's been a rough age we're coming out of. Fortunately, we're now moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And this age promises to be an age of far more enlightenment. Aquarius, as we know, is ruled by air. It's ruled by communication. So we have the internet and cell phones and fax machines and faster than light communication and lasers and space travel and all these incredible advances that have happened in the last 50 years. So it's very exciting. And we started moving into Aquarius 0 degrees in 1939. So it took us till the end of 2011 to move the first 72 years of 0 degrees. So in 2012, that was our very first year of 72 years that will be 1 degree into the age of Aquarius. So that in itself is very exciting and one of many reasons why 2012 was considered such a pivotal and promising year for transformation change. Now, as we go through this flopping back and forth, male age, female age, there are 4 ages that are intended to bring us into a balance. And these are the 4 fixed ages of Taurus the bull, which would have been about 4400 BC to 2100 BC, where there was much more of a partnership model going on between men and women. Leo the lion, which happened about 12,000, 13,000 years ago. Aquarius the man, where we're moving into much more of a partnership model now, thank goodness, in the world. And Scorpio. Those are the 4 fixed ages. So those ages are intended to bring us to a place of balance between men and women, and hopefully balance within ourselves, because ultimately, as Jesus taught, the only way we can come into balance or we can achieve consciousness and see the kingdom of heaven is to bring the male and female sides of us into union, our intuitive and our rational, our structured and our spontaneous and flowing, our mental and our emotional, our inner and our outer. Jesus actually said this when he said, when you make the two eyes into one, the inner into the outer, the male into the female into the male, then you should see the kingdom of heaven. So he was talking very much to this spiritual technology. And many of you know I've written a book on the lost years of Jesus and his connection with the mystery religions. And he was actually very much an advocate of this balance between male and female. So where are we now in this procession? We not only have the individual ages, which affect human consciousness, evolution, and culture, but we also have a period of time, if this is the horizon line, let's say, of the galaxy, for 13,000 years we drop below the galactic horizon. We fall, we could say, into the 3rd dimension. So we did this during the time of the Great Flood, 11,500 years ago. And then we come back up to where we come back into alignment with the center of the galaxy, which is where we are today. And then for 13,000 years we move above the galactic horizon. Now when we're below the galactic horizon, some of the ancient teachings talk about the fact that the male Christ comes in to oversee the planet at that time, and that he's flanked by 2 aspects of the female Christ, the mother and the mate, or Mary and Mary Magdalene within the Christian tradition. In Hindu tradition, it would be Yashoda, Krishna's mother, and Radha, his mate. If you look at it within other traditions, you'll see similar models reflected. But when we come above the galactic horizon, we actually move into a time where the divine feminine Christ energy can be more prevalent on the planet. And so that's one of the many exciting things that is beginning to open up in our world. Certainly we still have lots of examples of oppression of women in the Middle East, in China, where they've been drowning female babies for the last couple of decades. But more and more there is an awakening and a revitalization of the awareness that this is part of what the world needs to heal it. And so in this scientific model of understanding what's occurring, there are also evolutionary changes and revolutionary changes in our thinking, our feeling, and our cultural expression occurring for us as individuals and also collectively as a planet. So this is just a little tidbit of a preview of some of the many things that we talk about in this amazing series, Web in our series that we're doing on the galactic alignment. As I said in the first installment, these are little preview snippets that hopefully you guys will get an opportunity to enjoy. And if you want to know more about this amazing 16-week webinar series, please feel free to email us at trishamcannonspeaks@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and happy galactic alignment.